Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Red Platinum Batman the Cowardly Lot figure. So before we take a look at Batman, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with your standard DC Multiverse base. Up next, you get a very awesome data file. You get some incredible artwork by Jorge Jimenez there. And if you want to read that, go ahead and pause that now. Up next, he comes with a left-fisted hand and a right accessory holding hand, but he doesn't come with any accessories to put in that. Would have been cool if you would have had the Batarang on the rope like in the artwork right here. They could have reused that because I think all of the White Knight Batmans came with that, so it would have been cool if they would have at least reused that accessory for this one. And finally, he comes with his alternate Batarang hands, and these look really awesome. The silver paint looks really good on them. This is definitely how I'm going to leave the figure displayed. He just looks really cool holding those Batarangs. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I think McFarlane Toys did a very awesome job at sculpting and painting this. The print work there on the lips and the teeth look really nice, and I just think it really looks like Jorge Jimenez's art. He's definitely my favorite modern DC artist, and I think they really did his artwork justice with this figure. That head sculpt just looks really, really good. My only complaint is where the cowl meets the chest right here. I wish they would have implemented that a little better. I feel like it sticks up just a little too much from his torso right there. But other than that, I think that head sculpt looks really good. I'm really impressed with that now that I have it in hand. And another thing I'm really impressed with is the cape. We get the wired cape, which is usual for McFarlane Batman figures nowadays, but it's very wide. It is an incredibly wide cape, and I've had a ton of fun posing it around. I think that looks really awesome. You do get a new upper torso piece. The Bat logo is just painted on there, and I actually prefer it when McFarlane Toys does that. I think the painted on logos look better than the sculpted on logos. It's also a new piece because of where the cowl meets the chest right here. This does reuse the Hush body mold, so you can see that they do reuse parts, which doesn't really bother me. This figure's ab crunch is pretty hindered. That's really the only drawback of this body mold, but I think it's still pretty solid nonetheless. The only really big downside on this figure that I haven't seen on anyone else's figure is you get the nice sculpted on spikes right here on the right glove, and then on the left is just completely smooth. There's not even a spot where the spike should have been sculpted on. I honestly don't even know how this happens. So yeah, I didn't notice this until I took it out of the package. You can see that the arm is completely smooth. It's like they mismatched a part from a different figure on this. Because this should be sculpted on. It's not a separate piece. It should all be one piece right here. So yeah, it's like they mixed up the molds in the factory or something. You can also see that mine's joint isn't painted right here. It's just left in gray. It got a little bit of paint on it, but for the most part, it was just left in gray. So yeah, that is the one big flaw on this figure. As I said, I haven't seen anyone else having this issue. I honestly think this is just a case of me getting a wrong one, which really sucks because this is red platinum and it's harder to get than a regular platinum. So other than that big issue, I do really like this figure. As I said, I haven't seen anyone else get it. I feel like I always get the weirdest QC issues on figures that literally no one else gets, like having absolutely no sculpt right here to his forearms. You do get some really cool texturing on all of the hands. I like that. I think the previous hands that I showed off, I'm pretty sure they're reused from another Batman figure, but these are brand new because of the Batarangs. So I do like the sculpt of these. Hopefully McFarlane Toys reuses these on some future Batman figures. A small nitpick that I have with the paint on this figure is I wish that there would have been a wash on the belt, like the buttons painted silver or something, or at least a wash over the belt. I think that would have looked good. The rest of the figure is pretty much what you'd come to expect from this mold, though. I do think it looks really good, aside from the glaring issue that mine has. This is a figure that I've been looking forward to for quite some time, and having it in hand other than this, it really doesn't disappoint. I wanted a good modern Batman in my collection, and I think this is going to be it. I'm just definitely going to have to work on giving him some spikes here on the glove. So now, let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball-jointed neck that can look up all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side just a little bit. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it kind of makes a snapping noise when you twist it side to side. He can move all the way around. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. Doesn't really want to spin around here. These butterfly joints do seem to be stuck. He has swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows. They do bend in all the way, but they are kind of ratcheted, so you kind of have to work with it. But they can bend in all the way once you get that articulated. He has ball jointed wrists that can move up and down and spin all the way around. He has a ball jointed waist and diaphragm that can move back all the way. He really can't crunch forward that far. As I said, that's the main flaw with this body mold, is that the ab articulation is very hindered. He can move side to side up here, and the waist really doesn't move side to side that much. He can move all the way around up here, though. He can do a complete split. He can kick forward that far. He can kick back that far. He has a really nice thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that can move back all the way. Ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, spin all the way around, and to articulation that can move up that far. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the Hush Batman figure. This is actually the one that came in the Kong 2-pack, but it uses the same body mold and a similar head sculpt to the original Hush Batman figure. Here he is next to my repainted Scarecrow, and man, these two figures look awesome together. Here he is next to the Platinum Abyss figure. Here he is next to Ghostmaker. Here he is next to Infinite Frontier Robin. I really need to straighten out his sword there. And finally, here he is next to Modern Joker. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because I think McFarlane Toys did a fantastic job on this. I think it really looks like Jorge Jimenez's art, and I think this is definitely going to be the definitive modern Batman in my collection. I just really like the art that it represents, and I needed a good modern Batman in my collection. The only big downside of mine is that he's missing those parts on the forearm, but I really think that's just a one-off QC issue with mine, because I've looked at other reviews and even posts on Facebook, and I haven't seen anyone else having the same issue as mine. I would definitely recommend looking close at this if you do find one in store, but I honestly don't think that's an issue that anyone else is really going to have to worry about. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.